Well, good morning. It's a beautiful morning outside. Actually, it's a little bit frosty, but it's not too cold actually, so it's pretty good. Yesterday I did some shopping. I was in Grand Prairie for some work, and on my way home stopped at UFA and I picked up one of these 3-in-1 de-icers. Remember the other day we had some issues with a stock water heater, so this is the one we picked up. I actually pulled the lid off of it. It's like I said, it's 3-in-1, so it's a floater or a sinker. So this is the float. It's just got a styrofoam thing with the cap on it. And so that's two functions. The third one is you can go through the drain plug with it, which we're not going to use. This is going to go in a fairly small trough, so I don't want it to float. I want it to sink to the bottom of the bucket. Anyways, when I get off work today, I'm going to rig that up in behind the shop over here with our young ewe lambs, so I don't have to pack them defrosted water every single day, because that's getting old real fast. And there's a plug-in right there that we can just keep their trough nice and clear. The other thing I picked up was a couple bags of oyster shell and a couple bags of grit. So the oyster shell, for those that, some of you might know this already, obviously, that's a great source of calcium, especially for laying hens that they need that calcium. We're buying grain in bulk, so it doesn't have any of that in it. So that's why we supplement. We just do it free choice. We don't blend it in with the feed. They can go and take whatever they need as they need it. And the grit, rooster teeth, right? You ever heard the saying, finer than hen's teeth or rarer than hen's teeth? That's because they just don't have teeth. So without the grit, it can be hard for them to digest their food. So they have a muscle in here called the gizzard, and we feed them this grit, and as they contract that muscle, the little rocks in there help to grind up and chew up their feed to make it more digestible. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to make that easier. So an example, you can get your feed milled up like we do. And the other thing you can do is soak your feed or ferment your feed. Very similar processes, just one happens overnight and the other one happens over multiple days. In the summertime, we actually ferment our feed. We just don't do it in the wintertime because it's so brutally cold and it can't feed outside because it'll just freeze and then it just goes to waste anyways. And I don't want to feed that wet feed inside the coop because I want to keep that dry, keep all that humidity down and stuff like that. Anyways, I got to head off to work right now. I'll be back later this evening. I'm going to rig up that stock water heater and hope for success with that one.
Hey, June. Charlotte, is that June? Can you say hi to June? Hi, sweetie. Ow. Is she giving you kisses? Are you giving her kisses? Aww. You give June kisses? Aw, so sweet. That's June.
I just got home, the chicken house door was open. Thought maybe the wife was out here, but I guess not. So I'm just gonna run across in behind the shop here, have a quick look at that water. Actually, before I left work today, I did dump that heater in there. So I thought, well, maybe it's had all day to defrost and we'll see what they got for water. It's been above zero. And so I took 2 buckets of water out of the water trough behind the shop. So we should be able to see if it's above zero now. There's still some ice up on the roof. We should be able to see it dripping and filling this water trough back here. Yeah, so there you have it. It's not a ton of flow, obviously, but it's enough to keep this thing sustained and full, so that's fantastic. Hey, June. Hey, sheeps. Yeah, so you can see in there, I dumped this in this morning. It was a solid block of ice, and it's done quite well actually. So touch the water. Yeah, the water's nice and cool. It's not going to burn anybody's lips. So mission accomplished. Is that good water? Some high quality H2O. Hey, buddy. So now in a perfect world, we would run Eve's trough off this side of the shop and catch all this water and run it into the water trough here. But the world is not perfect. So as you can see, this is the north side of the shop. It doesn't get much sunlight. so that when the ice comes off, it comes off in sheets, and it'd be very unforgiving. Would probably destroy any kind of eaves trough we put on here. So we're just gonna leave this side to do what this side does. And for the cost of the eaves trough, I can probably pack quite a few pails of water just for here, because I only really have to pack it from this bucket to there. And this fills itself, as you guys already know.